Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel, PyBrain, where we're learning the basics of Python, and in this video I plan to show how to specify data types and what exactly are data types. And so basically data types are what kind of data Python deals with. So we know that computers they run on binary code, which is zeros and ones. In order to know which types of data you're dealing with, Python has to divide that data up into strings, numbers. So found this website here. Where we could see which types of strings and numbers Python will accept. So any text data is called string. So the class is abbreviated str. The numeric data types, these include integers for int, float, these are for decimal, complex numbers for imaginary numbers. We also have these sequence data types, so there's lists, tuples, range. For mapping types, we have dictionaries. We have also these other functions such as set, frozen set. There's booleans, so true and false. And then also there's these other ones that are more complicated, but for now we could just focus on strings and numeric data types. Also, you could get the type of what data you're looking at using the function type. So you can see in this example, they have this variable x, it's equal to 5. And so when you print the type in this syntax here, you could actually see, it'll tell you which data type it is. So I'm here on Linux, and if you're using Linux, you could open up a terminal. Also, same for Mac. In Windows, you're gonna have to open up idle, and it'll have a interactive shell. So here for Linux, we just type Python and press enter. So let's say we have, as in that example, x equals 5, and then we have print x, our type of x. So the print function has these parentheses. Inside you specify what you wanted to print. So here we put type of x, and if we press enter, it says the class of this is an integer, int. So Python also has a float numeric type. So if I said x equals 5.0 and then ran that same line of code, and now it says class is a float. So what if we do x equals the string hello world? So strings are text data type, and you have to make sure that your text data type is always surrounded by quotes. It doesn't matter if they're double or single quotes, they just have to be quotes, and they have to match. So if we do this and we run the same line of code as before, now it says class is string, as shown here on the output. So if we go back here to the data list, there's also complex numbers, and so complex numbers are shown with a number that has a real part like a 1 and an imaginary part with a j, so like 3j. So running the code again tells us this is a complex number. So boolean, there's booleans as well, so we could say x is equal to true, and running the type of x gives us output boolean. Booleans are used for conditional statements. which will come into play later, as we'll see in if-else conditions. The numeric types, such as the integer, floats, and the complex, those are used in mathematical, numerical calculations and functions. So we'll see more about that later as well. There's also the strings, which are also important. And these come into play when we're dealing with numerical data, such as analyzing, for example, text from an article or maybe text from input from the user. And then we also have dictionaries, list tuples, which we'll go over later in another video. So here, if you go to this website, the W3 Schools is very helpful. I recommend it. Here you could get a lot of useful definitions and examples of data types in Python. In fact, the internet in general is a very useful tool for when you're troubleshooting programs or want to learn more. Alright, so that's it for this video, guys. So thank you for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video, where we will cover basic operations with data types.